Minister, the new Taoiseach, Simon Harris, has conceded that the government's housing targets are completely insufficient and that at least 50,000 new homes are needed each year. The only possible way that we'll get 50,000 homes each and every year is to make housing more affordable. Now, one of the ways that we can do that is with a measure like introducing an affordable housing zoning, which to reduce the price of land and reduce the cost of housing. So, Minister, will the government introduce an affordable housing zoning?
Planning and Development Act 2000, planning authorities are required in making a development plan for their area to include objectives for the zoning of land for the use solely or primarily or of particular areas for particular purposes, which can include residential purposes. Section 95 requires that sufficient and suitable land is zoned for residential use or a mixture of residential uses and other uses to meet the requirements of the housing strategy. Section 96 provides that where applicable, a condition of planning permission shall require an agreement to be entered into with the planning authority under Part 5 in relation to the provision of social and affordable housing. This approach, which is also reflected in the Planning and Development Bill, is the appropriate means to supporting the delivery of affordable housing through the statutory planning process. And I know we discussed this at length at committee stage during the bill, and again I appreciate we appreciate the engagement of all deputies and in relation to that very extensive bill that's still ongoing. It would not be appropriate to designate the housing type or tenure to be attached to residential zonings, as it would restrict the delivery of mix of tenures needed to meet the diverse housing needs of local communities and the ability for the development of affordable housing to respond to a range of supports available across the area covered by the plan. So I think, as we discussed previously, it is through the housing strategy that local authorities can determine the types of mixes of housing that they require in their functional area.
Last Concordia, it's disappointing that the Senior Minister, Darragh O'Brien, generally never answers the smaller parties during these housing oral PQs. He only answers Sinn Féin and doesn't answer. And you have responsibility for these issues, not the Minister for Biodiversity, with respect. Now,
I give time later. Yeah.
It's regularly the junior ministers. Now, Minister, this government has missed all of its targets on affordable housing. In the last election, Darragh O'Brien promised 10,000 affordable homes a year. Last year, only 499 affordable purchase homes were delivered. When Social Democrat councillors in Dublin City Council proposed an affordable housing zoning, it was rejected on the basis that there is no national legislation to back it up. When I introduced an amendment to the planning bill so there would be national legislation to back it up, the government voted it down. An affordable housing zoning could be used to designate, for example, agricultural land when it becomes available for housing that would be predominantly for affordable housing. It would stop windfall profits for land speculators and make housing more affordable. So how can you possibly oppose such a measure in the middle of a housing crisis?
First of all, just again, the three ministers share out duties of response to questions here, and that's always been the case in the way we manage these questions.
He always answers Sinn Féin and rarely us.
I don't think that's the case.
Left out, I'll make sure I answer you the next time, Cian, okay?
I again, just to reiterate, and I know this was debated extensively during the committee stage in the planning bill. The responsibility of local authorities, the planning authority, including in the development plan, local authorities are required to develop a strategy for the provision of housing and of the existing and future population of their area. Section 95 of the Act further requires that a planning authority shall ensure sufficient and suitable land is zoned for residential use or for a mixture of residential and other uses to meet the requirements of the housing strategy, and to ensure that the scarcity of such land does not occur at any time during the period of the development plan. Obviously, under Section 96, the development of housing under Part 5 of the Act as well is included. And again, as I recall during the debate, you know, the issue that you're seeking to try and bring here, again raising through this question, the purpose of land use zoning and the development plan
get a chance to come back in, Minister.
is to indicate the development plan objectives of the planning authority. So again, the function lies back with the local authority.
No, we're way over.
Minister, in the last election, your party, the Green Party, talked about the Vienna model of housing. You even got a reference to the Vienna model of housing into the programme for government.
We did.
Vienna is ranked the most livable city in the world. A new build 2-bed affordable apartment, you can rent that in Vienna for €627 per month. In Dublin, the equivalent is €1,400 per month. So how do they achieve this in Vienna? One of the tools they use is an affordable housing zoning. It ensures a continuous supply of land is available at affordable prices for affordable homes. Minister, in the middle of a housing crisis and an affordability crisis, how can you possibly stand with land speculators and against people who are trying to buy a home? Why are you and the government blocking this measure being put forward by the Social Democrats for more affordable housing?
Again, just to remind the Deputy that your party voted against the Affordable Housing Act, the Land Development Agency Bill.
Because you didn't have these measures in it.
Well, just to reiterate, you know, the Vienna model, as I recall, we did put it into the programme for government, and rightly so, and it's been delivered through the cost rental approach that has been developed by government, and that is going to deliver over time. And again, just to reiterate, the issue here that you've sought to bring in through the planning bill and here through this question here this morning relates back to the function of the local authority around land use zoning in the development plan, the housing strategy that local authorities deliver on, and ensuring that they have the right mix of housing in their local authority functional area. That's where the responsibility lies, and we believe that that is the correct measure and the correct approach to it.